ready to wreak havoc with our very existence. What prowls the...
Pretend you didn't see that. Do we play? Alright, you didn't see that. Here we go again.
Hey there, true believers. Watch as once again frightening forces are at work in our world, ready to wreak havoc with our very existence. What prowls the halls of Empire State University after dark? None other than the master of illusion himself, the menacing Mysterio.
The tablet of order and chaos. Selling you on the black market is gonna make me a million.
Good, you can do that. I can smell your breath from here.
Spider-Man!
Wait, how would you eat a mint through that fishbowl? Nice! Don't get me wrong, your illusions are tasty. But if you ask me, they give you more kick. Nah, souvenirs are available in the gift shop.
Stop it! Cease your incessant prattle!
That's the best kind of fun.
What's this?
Hey, go ahead. Think fast. Okay. Can somebody tell me what's going on here?
Spider-Man, you are needed.
Madam Webb? As if this night wasn't strange enough already.
The tablet of order and chaos is the most powerful of all the mystic artifacts in the world, and you shattered it.
Yeah, sorry about that. Guess they don't make tablets like they used to, huh?
The pieces are now fragmented across other dimensions that are strange reflections of our own. A past unlike ours, a present day out of sync, and a distant future which may or may not come to pass.
Is that a cartoon pig?
Focus. I require your help. Yours and the help of these 3 other Spider-Men. The heroes into whose realities the tablet fragments fell.
Whoa, slow down. Other realities? Other me's?
Yes, I have explained our dire situation to them. They will be your allies in this quest.
But I'm the most charming, right?
You must gather all the pieces of the tablet before they fall into the wrong hands, or our reality, as well as theirs, will be utterly destroyed.
Yeah, right. No pressure.
So, I have a list, because we have a huge amount of people on this panel. So, everybody get ready, put your running shoes on, because here we go. Starting out, we were hearing Neil Patrick Harris as the voice of that particular Spider-Man. But there's even more. So we now have come to the stage Mr. Dan Gildazan, who we got Shiznell as a Spider-Man. Mr. Josh Keaton. And as an honorary Spider-Man, Mr. Dan Slott, Marlo writer. And the 2 gentlemen who are responsible for making this game for you all, Mr. Thomas Wilson and Dee Brown from Beanox. And somebody that should be familiar to everybody here that's attended a couple Marvel panels already, Mr. T.Q. Jefferson, who he's your boy, he's the one that helps make all this happen. Everybody assume the position and leave a hole because, well, you guys know, Stan's going to show up in a little while.
that was it. The artist drew 6 panels on a page, or 3 or 4. They would do 2 or 3 pages a day. In a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, the book was finished. These people spend a couple of years doing a game, and they have to figure out the special effects and the electronics and making everything dovetail and go apart and keeping the player's interest all the time. They're working in 3 dimensions all the time, and the mind boggles. I don't even know how they do it. And for me to be invited here, me who knows almost nothing about how these things are made, except of course I'm one of the great video game announcers of all time. I hope because of what I'm saying, they'll make sure they keep me as an announcer. And I'm always available to do, as you know, a cameo in any game. And that's about exhausted all that I can say about it. I'm flattered as hell to have been asked to be here, and now I'll just see what else I can learn. So thank you very much. I never expected he'd be in a video game. In fact, to be truthful, we didn't know there were video games. If anybody had used the expression video game, we wouldn't know what the hell they were talking about. And Spider-Man, to me, was just Spider-Man. But all of a sudden, we have Spider-Man Noir. And we have Spider-Man 1099. And we have Spider-Man, I always forget that damn word, Ultimate. If I didn't have this. And we have 4 versions. I don't know which one is the best. They're all magnificent. I was listening back there, saying to myself, are they never going to ask me out there? And I was listening to the description of all the characters and the way you do it and how the artwork is different. I mean, it's brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. And I'm a guy who hates to flatter anybody. I use all my compliments for myself. I don't know if you ever suspected it, but I'm my biggest fan. So, I forgot what the question was, but what? I'm sure we're ready for the next one.
You hit it and you came back. It's all good.
How you doing?
And like we've already seen Juggernaut, who I don't think we've ever seen before in a Spider-Man game, but was in that great Roger Stern story. You're going to see all kinds of different Spider-Man characters, villains, and even some surprise a hero or 2, right? We can say that, yeah? Can't tell you who.
Are you giving stuff away? Are you allowed to?
Oh no, they still have to buy the game.
Are they
Yeah, no on Twitter, okay?
Too late. All right, so obviously you guys are very deeply entrenched in Spider-Man, so how did that go with working with Beanox? Did they take direction? Was it collaborative in terms of putting in all the little fan nods? Or are they big comic nerds too?
Oh, they obviously went through all the stuff to pick out like the best Spider-Man characters and all the best like elements and things you can do with them. They are such fans. Look at they got all the original Spider-Man voice actors from the cartoons. This is amazing.
I'm available for that too.
You're not going to find bigger fans of like the whole spread than the guys at Beanox. They really put in the time and the work.
Very nice, and that was a good transition. Because we're going to talk to next our voice actors, and if I can do this right, and I can, we are going to check out some of Josh's work. Probably. There you go.
And now, the moment of truth. Sure, let's say we get closer. That proves it. If he wasn't Parker, would he resist this much?
Hey, the creep's got a point.
Yeah, show us your face.
Prove you're not. Come on, just because I'm not doesn't reveal who I am. Call up the secret identity. Besides, here's a half alien symbiote. You can't trust those things.
now we are going to have a look at if this works. It probably will. Alright, so that was Josh in his previous gig, and now we're going to check out Josh in his current gig. Probably.
The black suit! What am I doing in the black suit? I hate this thing!
Stay calm, young Peter. This suit has extra abilities you will need in your quest.
Like what, trying to take over my body?
I said stay calm. My psychic powers will keep it from overwhelming you.
Yeah, well, I hope you can do something.
Got it. Sorry, we've had some technical fun, so now we're going to check out Mr. Gilvazan's work in 2099.
Nice try. But my nanofiber wings broke the fall.
Nanofiber? How'd you get your claws on that?
Oh, wouldn't you love to know?
Yeah, that's why I asked.
And thanks to Vnox, the graphics will look that good.
Nice try. But my nanofiber wings broke the fall.
Nanofiber? How'd you get your claws on that?
Oh, wouldn't you love to know?
Yeah, that's why I asked.
Now, both these roles are very different for both of them. So it's been a while since they played Spider-Man, so I want to talk to you guys about that. So, what did you think about when you were approached? Were you up to it?
I could say that I definitely was. Spider-Man has been my favorite comic book since I started reading comic books. And it was always Spider-Man and Wolverine, because I'm short. I like to see short guys kicking ass. Yeah, I mean, so I didn't have to think twice, and especially when I heard that they were going to be bringing back Spider-Man from all different previous incarnations and cartoons, I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard of. And I know this guy. We've been friends for a while now. We have the same voiceover agent, so I see him all the time, and it's just kind of surreal to be sitting with another Spider-Man and talking about Spider-Man stuff. Yeah, I didn't even have to think twice. This was something that I jumped at.
Well, my first question when my agent called was, how much would you pay me? I was thrilled. It's been 30 years since, Josh has been a little bit more recent, but it's been 30 years since I did Amazing Friends. And I haven't seen Stan in 30 years. That was actually, if I'm not wrong, that was Marvel's first production as before they had licensed out the characters, and this was the first time that they had actually taken it on themselves.
Thanks to you, it put us on the map.
So when they told me they were using 4 of the actors who had voiced him before, I was absolutely thrilled because I've been studying the part now for the last 30 years, and I think I've got a handle on it. So yeah, it was great fun, and as you can see, the game really kicks ass. I mean, the stuff that I've seen that you guys haven't seen yet is really amazing. So it's been great, just great.
Now, neither one of you are doing exactly your Spider-Man exactly the way that you used to do it. So what was it like putting kind of a variation on that?
Yeah, that was what was really different. When I was first approached to do this, I thought, great. I mean, I'm 30 years older, my voice is a little different. I wonder how I'm going to handle this. Spider-Man 2099 is very different from the Spider-Man of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. Bear in mind, that was a Saturday morning kids show, so it had to be, kid-friendly. This is much grittier. He's much tougher. The thing that I liked, though, was the wisecracks are still all there. And the script, I don't know who's responsible for writing a lot of the lines, but some of the lines, I don't know who did this, but, oh yeah, that would be, nice job, man. So 2099 retains a lot of his humor, but it's also much tougher. And some of these, in the middle of the battle, you'll switch to your Spidey's point of view, which is really awesome because you're right up against the villain, right in your face. So it's pretty intense stuff.
Well, for me, I just came off of Spectacular Spider-Man, which it didn't necessarily follow all of the Ultimate continuity. It kind of picked and chose from a lot of different Spider-Man incarnations. But my performance was pretty much the same as in terms of tone and attitude as what I did on Spectacular Spider-Man. And the one thing, the voice I always heard in my head when I was reading the comics, when he's Spidey, he's cocky, and he gets under his opponent's skin, and he's kind of the trash talker of the Marvel Universe, and I wanted to make sure that wasn't lost. That's a huge part of the character to me, and that's one of the reasons I enjoyed him so much and what made him so fun. So I wanted to make sure that I could do whatever I could to keep that in there. But I didn't really have to work too hard. There's a lot of funny stuff in there.
I must add that when you guys play the game and you see Ultimate Spider-Man facing Ultimate Deadpool, it's great. Humor is great.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
So how much were you able to see of the game before you did the voice? Like, were you able to see sketches? Were you able to see the game in motion?
Usually you see sketches. Actually, no, I can't even say usually. A lot of times you don't see anything. A lot of times you don't get any of the story. You don't really have a lot of context for where to put the game and what's actually going on, and that's when you really have to rely on the producers and the voice director. And for this, they really did a great job of helping us keep those performances consistent. But we really didn't get to see a whole lot. We got to see in pickup sessions. We would see some of the gameplay and some of the stuff, and that's where we saw all that.
Now, Josh, you just got done recently doing it, so it's been lately. But Dan, I think it's been a little different recording this than maybe 30 years ago.
Yeah, a little different. When we did Amazing Friends, it was very much like an old-time radio show. We had Frank Welker, Kathy Garver, June Foray, and whoever was playing the villain. And so we had some amazing people. Hans Conried, Alan Melvin, some really incredible people. We were all there together in the studio recording, so we were able to bounce it off one another, and it's much more like doing a play almost. In this case, it's very different. You have discrete lines on sheets of paper, and you're doing it line by line by line by line. And I did want to mention our voice director, J.B. Thomason, did a speaking of Spectacular Spider-Man, he did a spectacular job, at least with me, in keeping me on track, letting me know exactly what was going on at this point, how intense this was, how much fun you can have here. It was critical in putting this together to have him help me. So I did want to acknowledge Jamie because nobody said anything about it yet.
Yeah.
And he also wanted to make me look like more of a...
Do you mean that the voice recording is done differently for a video game than for a regular cartoon?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
In what way? You don't react with the other players?
No, we're there. It's us alone, Stan. It's one person in the studio with a sheet of lines, and you go line by line by line by line. And because go ahead.
Then I was right when I said they were geniuses. Do you know how tough that must be? You're reading lines, you're answering something that you haven't heard. I mean, these guys are incredible. And I don't know how the hell you look so young after 30
I was going to say the same thing about you.
Personally, I think you're an imposter.
It's the chameleon.
No scrolls.
Chameleon,
Yeah,
Spider-Man. That's right.
Hey, that's right. Hey, it's my character.
Now, obviously, this is some pretty inspired voice casting, because, you pretty much hit every generation of Spider fans with this game. So I'm just very curious, who decided to do this? And, did you get any pushback on it?
Well, I think it was just like a collaborative decision, talking to Activision, figuring out what was the best way. One thing that was really important right from the start when we decided to go with 4 Spider-Man is that we wanted to have 4 different voice actors voicing them. We were not totally comfortable with the idea of having just one doing 4. It wouldn't feel that much different. And to actually, please the fans, I thought it was just making sense to actually have, 4 great voice actors who actually voiced Spider-Man in the past. That was all making sense to us. And yeah, that was pretty, that was established quite early on.
Yeah, and our goal was to make the best Spider-Man game that has ever been done. So we didn't want to overlook anything, and that's part of why we did that.
All right, now back to Stan for a second. Now that we've gonna run through the whole Spider-Man, just wondering, of all the Marvel heroes that you were involved with in your day, you always seem to come back to Spider-Man and become very involved with that character, even still. So I'm just wondering, is he your favorite?
Which Spider-Man is my favorite?
No, out of all.
Out of your 4?
No. Why Amazing Spider-Man? Why you keep coming back to Amazing Spider-Man?
Well, the Amazing Spider-Man was the first. And I told you I was my biggest fan. I wrote The Amazing Spider-Man. No, I think I wrote some of the others too, but the Amazing one was the first. And of course, you must understand, I did a lot of them with Steve Ditko and with Romita, and they helped a tremendous amount with the plotting. As the strips went on and on as the months went by, they did more and more of the plotting because they were so good at it, and I'm so lazy and I was working on a million other books, so they would do the plot. I'd give them a couple of words like, hey, let's use Sandman as the villain. That was my big plot. And they would come up with something, and it made it fun for me. It was like doing a crossword puzzle. I'd get their artwork back. I had no idea what they had drawn or why this panel followed that panel. But I wrote the copy and tried to make it make sense. And I figured as long as I could understand it, because I'm not that bright, the readers would be able to understand it, although the readers are bright. Don't misunderstand me. Again, I forgot the question, but that's about the way it went.
Before we open it up to, we have time for questions, yeah? Sure we do. All right, so before we do that, I wanted to ask folks on the panel what their favorite world is and why. No pressure.
I'm actually really looking forward to playing Noir, because I really like the Noir aesthetic. I'm a fan of Noir film, and I'm a little ashamed to admit this, but I lost about a year of my life to World of Warcraft, and I was a druid, and I was the guy that ganked people and did the stealth thing, and I want to do that again. So.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I can't pick a favorite. I think they're all so great and they're all so different. It's really difficult to say this is my favorite. I also really love the look of Noir. I think it's really cool looking, although 2099 is pretty cool too.
I gotta say amazing, it's my job. Yeah! It's the rule.
I don't want to make any enemies. All 4 of them are my favorites.
For me, my favorite one keeps shifting during development. Obviously, I've seen all of them, but I must say that now that all is done and everything, I have a special spot in my heart for Ultimate. I mean, I find it really cool, but then Noir's...
I wasn't doing the dance at the time. I'm minding my own damn business. This dude walks up to me and just goes, "Dude, you're so hot." What do you say to that? My only response